Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's podcast. Today, we actually have some members of our clay and ceramics department that are going to be talking to us about offerings and the things that they have going on in their studio. They were one of the first couple of people that I met when I started working here a little over a year ago. I just had, that
Happy
year
anniversary.
Thank you very much. And basically, I walked in and I'm like, there's Cal. And then I'm like, there's Rinny. And then Rinny, like within 2 weeks, she had brought me honey from her farm that I brought home to my wife and my wife loved. And everybody's been so nice over the entire time that I've been here. And you two certainly were that way for me when I came in and met you guys in clay. And I don't know a lot about the stuff that you guys do. So it's great to have this today because I get to ask questions that I haven't asked before, that I'm going to learn something, which means that everybody out there is going to learn something too. So can I say hello to Kel Campbell? You just have to give me permission to say hello.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, thank you. Hi, Kel Campbell. So how long have you been working at Arts Bonita, and what is your role here?
I started back in the early 2000s teaching the kids camp when it was at the visual art campus. And now I am the department head of ceramics there.
Great.
Yep.
Okay. And then we have Rinny Ryan. Could you tell us a little bit about how you got started working with Arts Bonita and what your role is at the center?
Right. Well, I was teaching at Florida Gulf Coast University.
Okay.
Okay. And then they went on to computers. And I wasn't so great with a computer.
Mm-hmm.
So they asked me at Bonita, would I like to teach there? And they don't have computers. And I said, you got it. So I started teaching there maybe 15 years ago. Yeah.
Was that your requirement? Like, I don't want to work in...
I don't deal with computers.
I don't deal with computers. That's good. Do you have a computer at home?
I have a cell phone.
And that's what you use to do email or anything? But you
Yeah.
don't have like a laptop or a
No.
desktop?
She has an iPad.
I have an iPad.
Oh, you have an
Yeah.
iPad. Okay.
Right.
All right. So you're not totally against all technology,
No.
but you don't want the computer. Okay. So you don't want to do the computerized ceramics class
No.
that I wanted to put on the schedule for 2026? Okay. Not for you. Okay, good. Note to self. All right. So can you guys tell me a little bit about, I guess I would like to know about the specific classes that you guys teach, because you each teach very different things within the same discipline-ish. So Kel, can you tell us a little bit about the types of classes that you teach at Arts Bonita?
Yeah. So on Thursday mornings from 9 to 12, we have Form to Function, which can be anywhere from throwing on the wheel to hand building. So it's really a diverse class. And, we do a little bit of everything. And we have people who are working on independent projects. So what I try to do is just facilitate whatever vision they're trying to achieve in their work. Then we have open studio on Thursday afternoons, and then in the nighttime from 6:30 to 8:30, we have what's called Clay Sampler, which is really great. It's only a 2-hour class, very low commitment, and you start off on the wheel learning to throw, and then we go to hand building, and then people get to see what kind of work they want to do.
Okay.
They go from there. Yeah.
Okay, and you do a lot of the one night events,
I
right?
do,
So
yeah.
so tell me a little bit about what that experience is like for you, and more specifically for the students who are taking the class.
Oh, it's just a blast. So we do many classes. We do Raku and You, which up to 18 people, and a pot is provided for you, and you put the glaze on it, and then you get to go through the firing process.
Mm-hmm.
We have a new class, a platter class, which you work with a slab of clay, and then you get to embellish it and decorate it, and then choose your color. We have a flower class, which I have some samples, which we can open up in a little bit. But what it is you come in at 5:30 and you get some food and beverages. The instructor gives you, more or less instructions of what you're going to be doing, and then the whole class gets to do something and have a really fun time. Especially Night on the Wheel, that's really fun too.
Yeah, so right now, currently on the website, if you go to the ceramics discipline, that's where you're going to see everything. All of those offerings are in there. And then if you want to look at the one-night events, you have to go to the one-night events section on the website currently. I'll show everybody really quick. There's an interesting thing that you can do here when you're on the website. If you go to the advanced filters, so right above where it says Halloween luminaries, right above there it says search and it says advanced filters. If you click advanced filters, it'll allow you to select a very specific thing. So you could select a discipline. You could select a day that you want to see only offerings from any discipline that happen on a certain day, like a Saturday. You can pick the discipline, whether it's mindfulness or oil or painting or stone or watercolor, whatever it may be. And then you can also go by instructor. So if you go here, you can click on Campbell, and it will show you all of the stuff that that Kel has coming up. So that you can do with any artist who you're trying to find here at Arts Bonita. You can put in Rinny Ryan, you can put in Campbell, you can put in anyone. It's going to show you their stuff. You can also select under advanced search one-night events, and it's going to just show you like the one-night events that are coming up. So, Rinny, what about for you? What kinds of stuff are you teaching?
Okay. I teach every Wednesday, morning class. It's advertised as hand building, but sometimes I get potters that come and they want to do a little hand building and get off the wheel. And I have about 5 different hand building techniques, like foam press and extruding and slab. So each week I teach a different technique for 4 weeks. And then the 5th week we decorate and glaze. But during those 4 weeks, I also do some decorating techniques on the pot that was just made. Then in the afternoon, I'm totally into the wheel. And okay, the wheel's my thing. And so I teach from beginning to advanced. And we start with a simpler form, which is a cylinder. And then we move the cylinder for 2 weeks and then into the bowl, which is a different hand position. It's a little more tricky. And we do the bowl for 2 weeks, and then the 5th week we decorate everything. But also, while I'm teaching throwing, I decorate on the wheel. So if the wheel's spinning, we can do some color decoration on a spinning wheel.
Wow. You also do basket weaving as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And about 10 years ago, I thought to myself, I have got to get out of my studio. I have my own studio, and I'm there all the time.
Yeah.
And I said, I need a hobby.
I thought you were going to say I need a hug. I thought that's what you were going to say. Yeah.
Every potter needs a hobby. I thought this is great. And a friend of mine was taking a music workshop, and she said, Rinny, they're teaching basket making up in Virginia. And so I went up to Virginia and I took a basket making workshop, and I got hooked, and I love it. And it's really terrific. And now it's not my hobby anymore. I'm teaching baskets.
Nice.
And we're doing this really great workshop where I make the pot and I punch holes around the rim, and then somebody signs up for the workshop and they weave the top of the basket, the top of the pot.
We've got coffees popping up around. One landed on my desk. One just came up from the floor because we have a ninja who works as our tech director at Arts Bonita. His name is Kevin. He usually looks a little grumpy in the corner, but that's just how he smiles.
Right.
And
that's my legal name.
Right.
That's his legal name. But anyway, thank you, Kevin, technical director, providing coffees for us, for those that drink them.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, so that's, we're calling it, we're having a workshop, so you get the pot, and then I'll teach you how to weave the top of the pot. And so it's a joining of clay and weaving. and read.
The fusion class, the clay
Fusion,
and
yeah.
weaving fusion class.
We're calling it fusion.
Yeah.
Fusion, right.
That is cool.
Yeah,
When you
these are
said that you need a hobby, it just seemed like reverse. It's like, well, I do art, but I need a hobby, so I'm going to do rocket science, or I'm going to do engineering, or I'm going to be an
right.
architect. You know,
Every potter needs a hobby.
yeah,
Right.
that's so funny. That's crazy. Well, let me ask you this: do you guys dream? Do you dream? Because some people say they don't
Yes.
dream, but
No,
do
I
you
dream.
dream?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
all the
Okay.
time.
Do you ever dream in relation to the art that you do?
Yes.
So give me an example. Like, what is it? What's that like for you?
It's pretty wild. Like you can get ideas for your next piece that way, you know, because in my dream I make stuff, and then I wake up and I think, oh, I wonder if I could really do that, or you know, what would that look like in real life? So yeah, it's
Okay.
great. I love it.
What about for you, Rinny?
Well, sometimes they dream that I'm doing a show and my space and how to set up my space, because I did shows for years and years, and it was always setting up your space and how did it look and all the display and getting there and taking it down and putting the anxiety was, and so that anxiety comes off in my dreams sometime. I think about shows and
Wow.
Sounds frightening.
Yeah, that's crazy. I'm going to talk for a second while Kel tries to open up the lid on our coffee. So I do find that, and one thing I'm really looking forward to this season, and now that I feel like, you know, we've had over 1,500 courses that we have added to our programming for youth and adult education. That also includes, by the way, that includes youth camps as well. And so anyway, so it's a lot. But you know, looking, you know, I look forward to going into the studios. Like every day, I want to see just pop in. You know, I don't want to interrupt, but I try to find the time to just kind of walk through. And I love talking to people. But people just seem so happy in ceramics. You know, just the way. Everybody's so nice. People call me over and they want to ask me about stuff. And everybody says the most amazing things about everybody in your program. So whatever it is that you guys are doing, like you're doing great with that. And you're certainly connecting with your students.
Well,
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
yeah, there's one more thing that sometimes I do, which is really cool, and it's called tandem throwing, where I'm on one side of the wheel and the student is on opposite me. And so we've got 4 hands on the wheel instead of just 2. And so they can follow me as I'm throwing, and it really helps them feel how to get the clay up. You know,
Is that called the ghost technique? I think the 4 hands, I think that's the ghost technique. Yeah.
Tandem is really great.
That's cool.
Right.
Okay. So, but you do that as part of the class?
Yes.
Okay.
Sometimes my student will say, hey, Rinny, will you tandem with me? Because I need to feel how it feels getting it up. And I said, sure. So we set it up to get it up. Right.
Wow. There's so many things to unpack there. So do you?
Could I make one more comment about
Yes.
Kel and I? Even though we're throwers, we teach very different, and we're not in competition with each other. What she throws and does, I can't do, and what I do, she can't. And it's wonderful. It's
Wow.
absolutely great. We're so together.
Well, I feel
love
like,
it.
yeah, I feel like that works really well. You know what I mean? And there's like blending of things, and
Yes.
but that's what I feel when I talk to people and people who talk about the program. And your guys' stuff is always full. So that's why I'll tell you, people out there who are listening to this specific podcast, whether you've taken classes before or you haven't, you definitely should go to artsbonita.org, look at the classes, and you should sign up now, because there are classes that are happening in March that are sold out. So if you're looking at doing something in September, October, November, December, any time through May, because we're scheduled out through May, you should go and register now. If you wait, you may not have a spot, and we don't want that to happen because there's only so many wheels. There's only there's only so much space. So please go and look and get signed up so that you don't miss out on anything like that. So what do you think, do you guys have something that stands out to you as the most interesting thing that you've made or the thing that you're most proud of, or are there many of those?
I think there's a lot.
There's a lot.
There's
right.
a lot, because you can go from functional, like a dinnerware set that I use, or you can go to sculptural, or, it's all over the board. That's the glory of clay, is that it goes from one to the other and everything in between.
Right.
It can be anything.
And sometimes I put a hand-built pot on the wheel and finish it off on the wheel. Like my students will make a jug and then we'll finish it off on the wheel. So it's hand to wheel, which is really kind of great.
Yeah.
Wow. What do you guys think? I'm just curious. Like, today a lot of kids are growing up with different experiences than we had when we were kids, and they're growing up with, iPads and devices and things like that. And of course, it's hard because there's a lot of digital happening in the world in terms of the direction that people are going.
Right.
But then kids, I feel like sometimes are being blocked from having certain experiences because of that. I know it's something that we work with all the time with our kids. I'm just wondering, what do you guys think you would be like if you grew up as a child with that level of digital technology around you? How would you deal with that? Do you think you would find your way into, because there's digital technology happening now, but you guys are still doing hands-on stuff that is artistic and it can be practical depending on what you want to do it for. So I'm just wondering, what do you think you guys would be like if you were growing up as kids in a digital age? How would you navigate through that, or how do you think you would?
Wow. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's really hard. And I found out early in life that I was dyslexic. And so I wouldn't be good with a computer. And they did a study years ago at Penland School of Crafts, and they found out that 90% of craftsmen are dyslexic. So they are better with their hands than they are with their mind. So they can't, I can't make my checkbook
Balanced?
balanced.
Yeah.
But I can throw a pot. And I don't know left from right, but I can throw a pot. So it's very interesting.
I can throw a pot too. It would
Dyslexia.
just bang around the kitchen and eventually break. That's what it just
You
sounds
got
like
it.
to me when you say the way that you
Right.
say it. It just sounds like, oh, I'm just throwing pots around.
Throwing,
That
right.
doesn't seem like art. Like, oh,
Right.
she's actually throwing to make it happen.
Right.
Throwing,
The-
for those of
right.
you who don't know,
The
is
force.
yes.
The centrifugal force. The force throws it.
Wow.
Okay. Right.
Wow. Okay. So when it's me in the kitchen throwing a pot around, I'm the centrifugal force that's throwing it.
Right.
That is very cool. It did take me some time when I first got here. I'm like, hand building, throwing. I'm like, what is this? Baseball? And anyway, I was just trying to
Right.
figure it out.
Right.
Wow. Okay. So what about for you? What do you think? How do you think you would navigate your way through so much digital stimulation?
I don't think I would navigate very well. I've always been like an outdoor, hands-on person, even when I was little.
Because we're like the same age. So like you grew up like there were video games coming
Yeah.
around. Did you have that kind of stuff in your house?
Yeah.
But it was still just kind of a part of it. It was still go outside and play.
Yeah, my mom was like, if it's not a hurricane, then go outside.
Yeah.
So, so I spent a lot of time just looking around and observing and getting to know my environment. And, I think that level of concentration that you have when you're in nature is really important. I think that's what kids are missing now. It's called the nature deficit disorder, where they don't get an opportunity to just sit and look at something and really focus on that thing and think about it. When you have technology in front of you constantly, it's moving and your mind is moving really quickly. And you just don't get that level of focus. And
No,
I
it's-
see that in kids, and it's scary.
Yeah.
And I'm so much older than you guys that I grew up without any of this going on. And about 7 years ago, my kids said they wouldn't talk to me if I didn't get a cell phone and get rid of it. And I had to learn how to even turn it on. I mean, I grew
How
up.
dare they?
Yeah, exactly.
Tell them to just send you a telegraph like everybody else.
Snail mail.
Right. So I grew up without any of this technology. It was great.
Wow. Yeah. It's so different though. I mean, and it
So
just,
different.
my kids are, they're a little bit, they're 11 and 14. So they're older and, my wife and I, we're always like dealing with it. But it's one of the reasons we moved out to Babcock Ranch is because it's in nature. It's a lot of preserves. And we find that to be very nice in that,
Great.
For that situation. But okay, well that's cool. So let me ask you about creativity really quick. What role do you think creativity plays or can play in mental health? Because I think that creativity is important for everyone, and when you don't have it, you're missing something. So I'm wondering, how do you use creativity to navigate, just the emotional roller coasters of life and the things that we all think about and deal with as we go through it all? How does it affect you? How do you use it?
Well, I have this expression, and I call it your higher Potter service, okay? And we all have a higher Potter service. So I can teach you how to throw, but I can't teach you what to do with once you're thrown. So you have to be really quiet and get in touch with that higher Potter service, which is in your mind. And then you'll be able to do something that I couldn't teach you to do. It's in you.
Wow.
You just have to be quiet enough to let it teach you what to do.
Wow.
So I call it anybody's higher Potter service.
That's cool. Okay. What about for you?
I love the creative process because it gives me an opportunity to work through things, because it can be a form of, you're taking what's in here in your mind and your emotion, and you're using your hands to create that, feeling or whatever you're working through. And it could be something like I made a big pot and I, drew a rhino on it, and it was like wrapped around staring at its tush. And so like that was me, my expressive outlets saying, I need to look at parts of myself that I don't always want to look at. And then I used type, and I put it all around about a story about, this rhino that got stuck on a pot.
Wow.
So, you can really use clay and creativity to work through things. And I know that when I'm working with clay, I'm on another plane. I'm on another planet. It's very meditative, and it's really therapeutic just to be quiet and listen to your stuff.
But it's an interesting question, because when you are teaching artists, it's like, then how do you use that for your own benefit? And I guess if it's in you, it's in you. And that's how you're going to do that. That's cool. Yeah. I don't know. I just think about that stuff all the time. It's like one of my big life goals is to try to find ways to motivate people to get creative in different ways, try new things. Some people think, oh, I haven't done it before, so why should I start? I'm like telling you, Arts Bonita is like the best place to go if you've had an itch. And you're like, I've always thought about this. If you've thought about it, we probably offer it here in some capacity. I mean, we do stone carving, glass blowing, we do filmmaking, screenwriting, acting, musical theater, atelier, drawing, oil, whatever it is. Like, we do so many different things. So if you've had something you've thought about, you've really got to go look at the website and see the different things that we offer. Because I can tell you that from top to bottom, from the first class to the last class, for these 1,500 things that we have scheduled over the next year, they're all taught by amazing people who care and are passionate about what they want to do. So I just want to encourage people out there, go to the website, go to artsbonita.org, look at the offerings, find something that speaks to you, because something will. And if it does, there's a reason. You should go and sign up and take that class. And if you're not sure about taking a 4 or 5 week class, we have tons of one-night events that you can come to that are social in nature, fun, you learn, and I just feel like, you really want to go to that website and look at it and find something for yourself. So Rinny and Kel, last question would be, can you maybe share an experience with a student or a group of students or a class that you had where you're like, oh my God, the energy was this, or everybody felt so connected, or people felt like they, grew so much? Like, I don't know. I'm sure there's lots of examples you can pull from. So it could be any example. Is there anything that you think of when I ask that?
Well, I think the thing for me is that the hen builders can take home a pot the very first day that they're there. But if you've never been on the wheel, you won't be able to take anything home because you just can't learn to make a pot. And so the wheel, where I try to encourage every student at the wheel to be patient with themselves and be in love with the process.
Mm-hmm.
And so I teach process for the wheel, and we're all together doing it. And I love that when they're all just sitting there, just really interested in the process, not in getting something to take home.
Yeah.
It's learning the process is really great.
Awesome. What about for you?
There's classes that students will just have those aha moments where you can just see them like realize or work through something and have a successful class. And that just brings me so much joy. Like, I just love that when you have that experience with students and they're like, and that just lights me up too. I think it's great. And now we have apprentices too. So I have 2 apprentices that are learning to make glazes and pugging clay and loading and unloading kilns, and they're really enjoying it as well.
Yeah, we have apprentices in stone and clay and atelier, and we're always looking. That apprenticeship program is good, and people should look into that as well. I actually want to ask you one more quick thing before we go. Can you just highlight again the special, unique offerings that you are bringing in new to this year? You mentioned it before, but can you talk just a little bit about what's different about those and what people can expect?
Yeah. So this coming year, we have another instructor, Jennifer O'Malley, who's teaching wheel throwing. So now we have more classes. So every day there's more classes. We've introduced a lot of one-nighters that are different than we've had in the past, which really give people the opportunity to do different things.
Yeah.
We have new workshops that we're going to be doing. So alternative firing that Rinny and I are going to
that was the
teach.
interesting one I was seeing with like the pottery with like the basket.
Well, that's Rin.
Which one is that? That has it's got the pottery with the basket on top of it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's her fusion class.
The fusion.
So
Okay.
we're calling it fusion.
Nice.
Right.
Okay.
So that'll be really, I don't know anybody that teaches that or does that.
Yeah.
It was just sort of a happy accident.
I love that. That's great.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's lots of classes, and then we introduce the night classes for people who, maybe still work full-time. So we would really love, people in the community, that work or have kids or, we want to offer classes for those individuals who can't get to the class during the
I also think that we have a lot of decorating technique, and Kel's doing a great job getting new glazes and offering new glazes. And I teach Majolica sometimes, and all different kinds of decorating techniques we all do. It's really we do a lot of different decorating, which is fabulous.
That's great. Like, the team is what is fabulous, like, about ceramics and clay. If Sandy were in town, Sandy Lawson would be here with us right now. She'd probably be sitting right here. I'd be scooted over a little bit. She'd be sitting right here. But it is the team, and I love that you guys are adding new members, and these are members who in a sense came through the apprenticeship program in terms of like a gateway into it. But it just is. I just want to say, like, clay and ceramics, like, it's a fabulous team. I'm always so happy to be around your energy and to walk into your space, and I look forward to doing that more. I want to thank you both for joining the podcast today. So thank you.
Thank you. Thanks
you.
for having us.
And I want to just encourage everybody out there, if pottery, clay is if throwing and hand building and all these interesting things they're talking about, like sounds like something that just piques your interest, like just get on it. Because I'll tell you, I see it all the time. I'm the education director at Arts Bonita, so I see the numbers, I'm looking at the numbers, and the numbers fill up really fast. So please get out there, make your reservation in those classes today, and you'll know you'll have your spot, because people don't take the classes just once. People take these classes multiple times over many months in a row. So you got to get your spot and lock it in. Okay, so thank you so much for joining us today. Please take a second to like the podcast, subscribe to the podcast, share the podcast link on your social media channels. It's the best thing that you can do to help get the word out, to promote this, and to share this experience with other people, is to actually share that link on your social media channels. So please do that. Thank you so much for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you on the next Arts Bonita podcast. Goodbye.